Sure, you guys noticed the new digs. Yeah, long story short, if you weren't watching any of the main channel content, okay, my normal recording computer in the normal place, yeah, it got bricked. So I'm waiting for some new parts, and hopefully I'll be able to get back there shortly. But for this week, yeah, it's probably not looking good, mostly because the chip shortage that's happening throughout the world is preventing me from getting a new CPU. That and money's a mother. So, anyways, we're going to stop short of that. And yeah, these are going to be the new digs. I'm sitting down, and it's something that, recording videos I haven't done on this channel. Okay. And it's not something I normally like to do. I normally like to be a little bit more free flow, I like to move around, I like to move a bit, mostly because that's the best way to do it. Okay. That's the best way that I find how to do it. And I don't like to be confined to a chair, mostly because, yeah, I'm very concerned about posture. Okay, and I want to potentially try to stay in frame, also, talking into the microphone. But, when people are doing this for a living, when you're sitting at a computer screen for multiple hours a day, it can be draining. Okay, and how do you stay on top of that? How does the mind shape posture? Well, something we talk about a lot. Proper mindset, proper posture. So I seen this article and figure it would be a great topic to tackle. So, written by Donna Martinelli. I walked by a shop window and I realized that the reflection in the glass was me. I was stunned. I had to double take. Who's the woman with the rounded shoulders? And again, that's another one of those things. Maybe we could do it just for funds. Okay, I pull up my recording software so I can properly see what's going on. But yeah, if you're sitting, I can kind of tell. I'll just move my microphone a little bit out of the way. But yeah, if you're sitting, okay, if you're sitting like this with your head hunched forward, eventually, if you're not paying proper attention to your posture, you'll find yourself like this after a little while, after a long time working, and your shoulders will just naturally slump forward by being on the typing on the keyboard all the time. And I'm sure that was probably awful audio recording. I'll try to do my best to clean that up a little bit, but you're going to find that, yeah, your neck probably hurts. Your back probably hurts a little bit, mostly because your posture isn't exactly what it should be. And especially when you're just sitting in those specially rounded chairs. Like, I don't know how many offices have those gamer chairs that are out there, the racer back chairs. It's just more or less a gimmick. Okay, having a good office chair like this one is actually a really nice, really good chair with proper lumbar support, and I'm actually looking forward to doing some editing afterwards, mostly because my regular chair, that's why it kind of started to stand up as well. It's just not good. Okay, it's reclining quite a bit, and I gotta lurch forward in order to properly see the screen. So having a good posture, having, an exposed chest so that you properly enunciate your words, that you properly project what you're saying, and then you can access more of your lung capacity as well if your shoulders are properly positioned back, properly rolled back, instead of everything just rounding inward. It's not great, okay? So, like she says here, I spent hours at my computer, there you go, constantly bending forward to read or write something. Yeah, and again, if you got a little bit of a desk space in front of you, if you're taking down notes as well, or just, banging away on another keyboard that's up here, you could have multiple screens, you could have multiple different devices going, you could have your phone off to the side and all that other fun stuff. So, with that said, I have done extensive study throughout the Harkness Ballet of New York, interesting about imagery and alignment. Ah, yes, proper posture in ballet dancers. Very true. Very true. And I realized somewhere along the way, my posture and how I see myself had gone astray. It's one of those things that can just so easily slip if you're not conscious about it. Once the feeling of a posture has been firmly established in our brain, we only have to recall the sensation of our body will automatically respond to reproducing the posture. Exactly what I was saying before. And it's one of those things that, yeah, unless you take proper mental note of it, and it's another one of those things, like especially if you're weightlifting as well, if you know how to do it properly, you can just fall into a regular routine. You can just fall into bad habits. But when you consciously think of how to do it, you'll immediately snap back. So anyways, the firmer image or memory of this posture, the more mental pathways we have to improve our alignment. This is how postural postular image, that is a picture of ourselves in a certain posture, and that memory of that posture is intimately linked to our actual posture. So the formation of our postular image comes from both inside and outside influences and how we choose to react to them. Our many thoughts and emotions affect how we see ourselves, and this is reflected in our posture as well. Our posture is fluid rather than static. Every day is different depending on what we did the day before, how we slept, how we think and feel, and what shapes we've held ourselves in for what lengths of time. As a result of those varying factors, we need to make subtle adjustments to our everyday posture. Daily posture habits accumulate and become very visible as we age. That's why we should think of posture as an ongoing effort and always seek to make improvements. So, as a dancer, I know what body awareness comes first. Well, as a weightlifter, as a personal trainer, as a certified personal trainer, as somebody who has studied the craft for years, in a proper educational context, in a proper educational vocation, rather. And then, put that information into proper practice for well over a decade at this point, nearly every single day since 2006. So 15 years at this point. Something that I am intimately aware of. While it is true that posture comes from genetic and social heritage, that's being way too vague and way too obtuse. Our accumulated mental and physical habits enforce it. For example, my posture was quite good when I was an athlete. Yeah, and then you just became lazy. Really does suck to suck. My alignment was constantly growing towards correctness. Then my life changed for one that involved sitting at a computer for hours every day. Really does suck. Babies naturally sit up straight. Yeah, and we also talk about how children breathe as well, like they always have, for whatever reason. Okay, things where there's a right way to do it. And when we were talking about breathing, I think it was last week or something like that. Yeah, how they normally, when they breathe right from their stomach and it goes up. And then somewhere along the line, your mind gets a little bit messed up, and then you just start breathing from the upper chest. And when you take in a breath, your stomach and your diaphragm contracts. It's a little bit weird. It doesn't make any sense, but that's where it goes when it comes from a posture perspective. So yes, babies sit up naturally straight, and the big head balances perfectly over their shoulders because of their exceptionally straight spine. By the way, the building blocks of the body are stacked one on top of another. However, we can all grow into bad postural habits over time. Sometimes as a result of seeing siblings and parents exhibit poor alignment, sometimes as a result of emotional or physical tendencies. In cultures where everyday sitting tasks involve a lot of movement, we're likely to find that people have good posture. Sitting on floors, carrying baskets on their heads, and running all support good posture. Meanwhile, the sedentary lives, excess screen time, and plush furniture we all have in the United States do the opposite. To fix this problem, it helps to understand that just as posture can change how we see ourselves, how we can see ourselves can affect our posture. How we see ourselves, can affect our posture. That sentence didn't make any sense. Having a thought or holding a picture in our mind sends a message to the nervous system because the thoughts and the nervous system are connected. We attempt a new physical task. Our brain creates new neural pathways to figure out how to accomplish the unique feat, like how a dancer or an athlete will imagine themselves performing a physical feat to improve their execution. We can do the same with how well our spine is aligned with our head, neck, and hips. So, how do you create said correct postular alignment? Well, first, you have to physically correct the alignment by pulling your belly button in and up. Yeah, okay, this is one of those techniques that's really, really difficult to describe if you don't know what you're doing. But yes, imagine, okay, like if you're lying down, okay, just lie down for a moment if you have the opportunity, if you have the space, if you have the means to. Otherwise, if you're sitting properly up in a chair, which I will do so, I'm just trying to find the best way to hold this microphone because I'm not used to sitting down, especially in a nice chair. But you just think, okay, you have your navel, you find your belly button, and then you just picture, okay, you're just trying to draw it back to your spine. You're engaging your abdominal muscles, and then you're holding a better posture just by mere practice of that, okay? And then even just by engaging your abdominals, okay, you are probably straightening up your posture if it needs straightening up to begin with. So think about that as well. Pulling your shoulder blades down and back. Yeah, because they should be in line when you're standing up, and this is always so much easier when I'm standing, and I wish I was standing, and I wish my computer didn't suck, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, your shoulders should be in line with your hips, and even when you're sitting down, it should be exactly the same way, okay? And then especially when you're sitting, and because I find myself in this unique situation, your knees should be perpendicular to the floor, okay? They should bend at a 90-degree angle if you're sitting in a nice chair like this one. And then your feet should be flat on the floor, okay? That's the best way to be sitting. And then again, if you're standing, you want to have a nice soft bend. So instead of just having your knees at a perfect 180 degrees, okay, you want to have a nice soft bend in them, okay? Just a little bit of a bend in there, but you want to have your shoulders, your hips, your knees, and your ankles in line. Good posture. And then you also want to think about your ears over your shoulders there, and then following that chain as well, because you could have perfect posture from your shoulders all the way down, but if your head is jutting out about a foot to 8 inches in front of it, you're undoing all of that. Okay, that's that 10 to 12 pounds that's just sitting on top, putting undue stress on your spine. Second, had to visualize my correct alignment. My body responded, my brain learned, because our bodies like to find the easy way and revert to familiar patterns. I used a picture of myself when I was athletically in top shape to help my self-image. I put it on my bathroom mirror, and I would see it every morning first thing. That woman with the rounded shoulders has since vanished. That's cool. To me, that would just be a nosy neighbor. May my experience give you a fresh perspective of how mental imagery works to create great posture and support whatever adventures life has in store for you. And again, if I can just add on top of that, hopefully, and I do mean this, hopefully my little interjections there can also help you improve your posture, whether it be sitting, whether it be standing, whether it be exercising, and knowing that once you have that in mind, you can recall it and you can implement it whenever you find yourself slipping. But with that said, guys, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care.